What's going on? Move the Mouse back in the town of Santa Rico with our Let's Play Season 2, Episode number 11. Took a break for a couple of days, had some things going on over the weekend, as well as I got a beta code for Tropico 6 from the devs. They reached out to me and wanted to get a little time in on that. It's a fun twist on city building, and I'll have something coming to the channel very soon on that. But I did a little bit of work. Not too much. It may seem like a lot, but let me bring up our milestones. We reached the 60,000 milestone since the last episode. The next one is at 75,000, and that will get us our monuments and unlock our last area and international airport. We've also unlocked the regular airport, but what I was thinking is building kind of a giant airport, kind of slapping them both together and having like a local arrivals and departures, and then like an international arrivals and departures, and maybe kind of using this space over here because it's got multiple highways we can connect from, and we can also bring those down into the new area that I've started building at the south part of the city, which was to slap in a lot of the noise-heavy touristy buildings down here. I'll pause it for a moment. So we've got our Expo Center, our Museum of Modern Art, Theater of Wonders, the Aquarium, the Science Center, and the Cathedral of Plenitude. So this is a horrible noise bubble down here. If we look at our info views and the headphones icon, that'll tell us where our noise pollution is. You can see that that causes all kinds of pollution. We also have some tourism-focused areas. So we've got things like hotels, and that creates some noise. You can see very clearly where commercial is. Office space doesn't noise pollute. Industry does, and commercial does, and you can see kind of where those commercial pockets are. I didn't realize at the time how large this particular commercial pocket was. This is a little excessive. We've got a full cemetery over here. Before the bodies start piling up too much, let's go ahead and start emptying that. And we've got garbage and bodies over here. So maybe we need to find a new cemetery in one of our new neighborhoods. So another little bit of expansion. I haven't started zoning yet, but I wanted to at one point have potentially a coastal highway. We're gonna make sure all the stoplights are removed from here, and I pulled most of them out, so it's stop signs on the crossroads. But this can get people kind of down into the city. And then for this outer area, I'm hoping that this supports some traffic. We did the 4-lane tree-lined streets, and I basically ran this all the way down the coast. Goes all the way into our commercial area, our tourism area, and then I switched to 6-lane tree-lined streets here, and then this continues on down this way. It's a very straight shot here up into this outer road. So we will at some point zone this off, but I think this is going to be where our airports are going to be, so I'm not going to commit too much over here. Really what I want to get going is zoning over on this side. Now we've got more demand for commercial, so maybe I'm thinking this center block with the cross streets could be good for that, and then we can spin up residential on either side. We've got greenhouses here and here, so maybe we'll mix in some regular housing over here by the water, and then can tuck in some more greenhousing over here. But let's get the zone tool out and start with some high density commercial here. We'll see there's definitely some room for us to put some more cross streets in and make sure that we're zoning off as much of this as possible. So let's do that to kind of fill this area out. I want to come up here for a minute before we talk about this residential. I do want to talk about an idea I had over here. So this is really kind of loosely populated, and you would never see this in real life, like a really loose open suburb right across the highway from such a densely populated area. We've got to bring out stuff all the way to here. You'd be built up right up to the highway, whether they like the noise or not. It's too bad. Just for realism, I think I'm going to do that, kind of fill this in. Maybe we'll fill this in with trees a bit closer to the highway, but I want to get away from the grid here. So we started with a grid. I think the suburbs look a lot better with kind of these flowing streets. We're achieving the same things, having minimal intersections, longer streets, But here's how I was thinking of kind of slowly tying that in. So connecting some of these main avenues, or I don't want to say avenues, but these main roads through the residential district up with some of these streets. So maybe we could do something like this. We'll D-zone a little bit in the process, right? But kind of connect that in there. Where's our next one? Through here? Maybe we even connect that to here. It doesn't have to be too full, but it's got to be a little bit more than what we see here. We've got to fill it out just a little bit, but we'll come back to that. I don't need to get distracted on side projects. Let's see now. This street here has a lot of dead zone in the middle, as does this one and this one. These are a little bit tighter through here. So I'm thinking maybe we need to tighten this up a bit, or even, you know, we don't want to create too many intersections on the main road. So maybe we can come through kind of the center of the block. I don't want curved for this. Kind of come through like that, even at a weird angle. And then come up through here with just a couple small houses, because like we're not going to get much zoning off of this if we like drop a road right there. But just to have a couple buildings, you know, kind of in there, it usually honors the zoning of the other road that was there first. So let's connect that through. Again, we'll kind of keep some weird funky angles through here, and then just get us a little bit of extra zoning through the center of these blocks that are a little bit loose. And we'll leave that one kind of like that. So we'll do all that in residential, and then we'll fill in our district so that, actually, you know what? No, we'll leave this one regular housing. I go back and forth on that. I don't want to have too much green all in a row. So we've got green here, regular housing, green here. We'll do regular housing and then maybe a bigger patch of green, but again, we have the green right here, here. So I go back and forth. I don't want it to be all green, but I want to lean on it a lot. We don't have this demand right now, so this isn't going to fill out. But I just kind of want to commit to it. We won't zone off too much more. We'll stop maybe on this block for now, because maybe we get more commercial demand, maybe we get more office space demand, and we kind of mix and match that in there. Let's go ahead and hit play. Let's take a look at what's happening in our city and think about what else we can do this episode. I do, again, want to stay on top of the residential because we need those people moving in. We're getting closer and closer to that 75,000 mark. And we can drop in our monuments when that happens. Airport's over here. We've got to move this out. So is this our ice cube factory? That's our ice cube factory. Let's leave that. And let's break out our zoning tool. Let's de-zone all these other pockets of industry for now. We don't need them out here. This is going to break our power grid connection here, but that should spread all through the city, so that shouldn't matter. We've got our helicopter depot and power plants. I did drop in the nuclear plant. I don't know if I mentioned that on any of the videos, but that was a recent development. And I'm hoping with all the power that we have, let's actually look at our power usage, because I feel like we are going to be way over what we need. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. So let's bring that electricity budget down. Let's see what 75% does. Let it play. Did that take hold? There we go. So we've got a ton of electricity production between the nuclear power plant, the two... Whoa, little lag there. The two solar updraft towers, and then we're powering things like the water pumps with their own turbines, the advanced wind turbine. We're doing the same thing down here, though this is quickly going to be connected into the grid naturally as power spreads from building to building. So back to our D zone. That's the ice cube factory, right? I already forgot. Should be that one right across from the street. So let's really start to rethink this area. We don't need this connection now anymore. And we can turn these back into two-way streets. So we'll upgrade these roads to two ways. We don't need the same traffic flow through here anymore. In fact, we don't even need that block necessarily. That's our ice cube factory. Let's delete that. We're gonna redo all this anyways, so. We'll move some stuff around here and start to get this out of here. Now you can have industry and have it not pollute. There is a policy to reduce ground pollution by filtering the water or filtering the industrial wastes. But we can go green. We can go all office jobs. It's fine. We're really focusing in on education. Maybe we spin up some industry later on. Looks like we're gonna need more cemetery coverage down here. We've got this one. Let's see what else we have. So yeah, that's definitely on the lighter side over here. Let's use this little cross street. Throw it about in the middle. We've got good crematorium availability, but let's keep up on that. I feel connected to this ice cube factory because they're one of the first ones that used that that cargo hub down there, and that was appreciated. But we'll see how long they stay here. Let's make sure we've de-zoned everything industry-wise. So we don't want any new industries moving in, but we will allow the ice cube factory to stay. So we'll de-zone selection tool and do everything that is not part of that lot. And let's go back to our roads because I didn't finish upgrading these from one-ways. Now over here we've got 2 dumps, 2 incineration factories, 2 recycle plants, and 1 industry building. Everything's D-zoned now, it looks like. We've got our power plants. Let's move things around just a little bit because this kind of location is bothering me. Let's move the helicopter depot across the street. And let's move this right over here. And what's it complaining about this road not being connected? Is it that the power plant is not technically on the road until I draw this all the way out down here? Let's do that. Okay. That works. Oh, another very cool trick that somebody mentioned is anytime you have a change in road types, you create a crosswalk. So, upgrade. So there's no crosswalks there, right? If we wanted to have a crosswalk, let's just say for whatever reason, we'll just use this as an example. We could upgrade one segment of road from, say, regular to grass-lined streets. Achieves the same thing. You get rid of the parking lane, but you also create crosswalks right there. So that is a really cool trick that I did not know about. Thank you for that. A couple of people mentioned that in the comments. And that's a really slick way to, if we wanted to, have, like, you know, crosswalks over here. Let's go look at that in front of our university streets here. We've got good crosswalks there. It would be kind of cool to have a crosswalk like right here in the center. Now notice though that, so we can't upgrade to the same road, but it wants to upgrade that entire segment of road. And it's going to plop that crosswalk right there. Not exactly where we want it. So if we wanted to get a little fancy with it, let's do that. I probably should have done that before changing the road. Let's do crosswalks, say right there. So that's what, 2 clicks, 1 click beyond the zoning? 5, 6. Something like that. And then we switch to grass line streets, and that's going to create those crosswalks right there on either side of the plaza. If we wanted to, I could actually continue that in a little bit more. Let's see if it'll let me do just one segment. No, it won't. Okay, I could finagle that a little bit, but I think that kind of looks nice, because now you get rid of the cars parking immediately in front of the university, and then you have these footpaths that are pretty close to the crosswalks now. So that's kind of a cool approach that we can do. Now, the other thing that would make this area come alive a little bit more is if we did... They moved this a while back and it confuses me every time. If we did some paths to connect, like from here into the park. Because right now, people don't walk on this area. They don't think that this is anything of interest to them. So we can actually make this area come a little bit more alive by connecting some paths like that and that. We could do one kind of right here in the center. But what I'm thinking is we come out like this, and then we curve it into the crosswalks, if it'll let me go where I want to go. Let's do that. And that. So now you get some people kind of walking around here more. If we want them to maybe... Let's see, I don't know if this will let me connect. It will, okay. And then if we want them to kind of cut from... Why did it do that? We'll leave that for now. Let's see if there is a couple little parks that we could cram in here just to make this center plaza area seem more busy. So we have the small park, which is not so small. Playground wouldn't make much sense at the university, I don't think. Dog park, kind of cool. That would just fit. Let's see what that looks like. That could be okay. But I don't know it's appropriate for the university, so let's demolish it. It would be nice to cram in something there. When Park Life comes out, you can customize this a lot more. And then, of course, on the PC, you can build your own parks as assets and then just drop them in. But I think that's okay. We can do that for now. Now, I did fill in trees over here. I'll fill in some trees in the backside and fill in this. And that will give us, I think, a pretty good looking university campus. Now, one thing that a lot of people commented on was having some sports offerings over here. So if we go into unique buildings, there is a football stadium, which, sorry for the American football fans, this is a soccer stadium technically. Now, this does generate a fair bit of traffic. And it looks like because of my highway ramps, I can't cram it in right there. But that way it would make a lot of sense to have a football field kind of on campus here. How much do we need to move that? So we could come in, we could move this road right in behind the university. Ruin the symmetry a bit. But let's see if we can, how much we have to move around to get that in. We could get that in there and only blowing away, well, 2 of our little dormitory buildings. That could be cool. Let's do that. Let's see what this kind of looks like. That's really big next to the university campus, but it does kind of look cool. I think I'm going to separate that out a little bit at some point. It doesn't make any sense to have a stadium right next to, man, can you imagine how loud your dorm room would be if there was this massive 100,000 seat stadium? How much did that cost to drop in? 200,000. We will, we'll leave it there for now. We'll move it eventually. But I kind of, I like the idea. I just don't think that's going to be the final placement. Maybe we will rethink our highway off-ramps a little bit so we can move it back right on the highway. Let's do it. Let's do it now. Let's figure out where we want this to go. So this is going to be expensive. We're going to move it once. Relocation costs 40,000. Where can we put it though? We got to put it somewhere for now. Costs us 40,000 just to move it down there. Let's reconnect this up. I don't want to ruin the symmetry of our little area here. Right? Is that correct? Yes. So we will rezone over here, high density, all the way up to there. Actually, did the I think the fill tool separates these out. Yeah, it does. So we'll do that. I don't think we zoned all the way up to the edge there. We did not. We'll fill that back area in with trees and this side area with trees. And let's try and cram this in over here. So one way we could do this with not too much effort is to do a left-hand exit and then sneak it under the highway. So we'll go to our regular roads. I want to curve this out and see if we can tuck this in between the roads. It's gonna be a little tricky, and it wants to snap. That could work. So we could exit that way and then ramp down and underneath. It's our subway that it's having a problem with. Can we get under it? I doubt it. Oh, we can. We can go 2 down. Let's curve back in. We can delete this now. We never needed that access road anyways, so let's just do that. And we'll go back underground and try and hook this in, see if this is too steep of a slope. It is. Let's see, if we start coming back up immediately after the tunnel, we should be able to get back up there. So let's do that. We'll stay on our curve tool. We'll go down. We'll start our curve here and start coming up immediately. It's a little funky, but it achieves the same thing. Now we need to go in and upgrade that to off-ramp, which should make the road a little bit narrower. Just a bit. And then let's double check our direction. So on the change direction tool, we'll go down underneath. Looks like that is correct. So we're still kind of achieving the same thing. You have a longer off ramp that connects up to there. Far side should be fine. And we deleted some of the unnecessary crossroad under here. The other thing, this can be really handy. I did this in a previous series. If you have a bunch of exits right in a row, you'll have, let's say, let's say this exit gets really badly backed up and you have a right-hand exit. Traffic backs up in the right-hand lane, and it might potentially go all the way back here where you have traffic backing up to get off here. And same thing, all the way down to the other exits. You have this massive backup in the right-hand lane. If you encourage people to get off in the left-hand lane instead, if this backs up, it backs up the left-hand lane. If the other exit backs up, it backs up the right-hand lane. And if you kind of alternate those in really heavy traffic areas, that can be a good way to reduce some traffic problems on the highway. It's not, the end-all fix. Let's move this one more time for 40,000. I think we can fit this in here now. We can. And where do we want to put it? Do we want to put it all the way at the end of the road? Do we want to kind of center it on this block, I think? So right there, 2 squares on either side. University football. There we go. If we hit play, you'll actually see some players practicing on the pitch pretty soon, I think. As long as the building is active. Let's see if it's watered. I don't think... Oh, it is. Okay, we extended that pipe all the way down. That's great. So one more addition to our university campus. Now, we might have to rethink the traffic here depending on what comes in, because these are pretty small roads supporting this. We've got people rolling in there already. That's good. Let's spam some trees and kind of fill this in, and then we can take a walk around our university area. So I will time lapse this because planting a bunch of trees of different types can be pretty boring. So bear with me a minute and we will be right back. All right, that's pretty good for now. Let's take a quick walk around our campus. I wanted to leave this area kind of open for now. We should see some people taking, there we go, so these footpaths. Guys cruising. I just wanted to decorate it a little bit, make it feel a little bit more alive. You cannot park there, buddy. All right, so let's get a look over here. Little dormitory area. Get some buildings. Students live. Walk the back street over here. And more dormitory buildings. We've got these trees all filled out. So yeah, some of those trees are a little straight, but like when you get into an area like this, if you do a couple straight rows to fill in the bulk of the space and then plant some trees to kind of fill in the gaps, it ends up looking a little bit more natural, like you can see here on this side. Let's go check out our new stadium. Pretty cool. Are you working on some construction over here? Wow, am I a little girl, I guess? I didn't realize how short I was. This guy's got his Bluetooth headset. He's very important. This guy's gonna go hang out in front of the Creative Arts building and do nothing. So that's a kind of little cool underground passage. Did these have metro stations built into them? That would be awesome if the stadium did. I did not know if they do. It doesn't, but it should. We'll definitely end up putting one... Maybe kind of we can have two lines kind of crisscrossing here. Because I don't know that we need a university stop and a stadium stop. But man, look at all the traffic here. Yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. It's nice to have kind of this decorative stadium, but it also functions as an entertainment source. And a lot of people are going to want to get to it, so... We'll keep an eye on that. While I've been blabbering on, our industry demand is absolutely through the roof. So where is the next spot for some office space? We've got a huge downtown area of office. We could cram some in over here, I think. We've got residential here. You don't want people to have to commute too far to work. So this is spaced out a little bit better. And we can do residents on either side. We've already got the zone to the right blocked off. One little office there. So we'll do these couple of blocks. Would have been faster with the marquee tool. So these are going to fill up in no time. And hopefully that will encourage some residential demand as well. I could get going on the metro at this point. We have enough of our structure figured out where we could at least do this half of the city. And reducing the traffic will definitely make people happier and more willing to commute further, and should help spark some interest in some new residential. So I think I'll get going on that next episode. is really start to revamp the metro. Again, we've got so much of this structure defined. If we redid the metro at this point and then just did this segment over here once we drop the airport in, I think we'll be in really good shape. I put a cemetery over here. I did not power or water it because we hadn't planned on building out this area yet. Looks like power is spreading though. That is good. Let's check on our industrial area here, our lone ice cube factory. And as the ground pollution starts to go away, it won't completely disappear. Let's see if these dumps, because we have the recycle plants and the incinerators, I don't think these dumps are stacking too much garbage. They're both about half full. We'll empty those. Let's empty these now. Let's look at what our recycling is doing. So recycling is handling things pretty well. Let's empty both these facilities so that we can bulldoze them once we're ready to move in some more residents over here. We'll keep things loose down here. Maybe we'll fill out little pockets like this, or we could reserve this for a park in the future. Be nice to have some footpaths and like kind of a giant park down here for our green areas. And we could do the same thing with this dead zone as well. Rather than move more residents in here, I think we'll give them some fun things to do with some parks. We will kind of populate this a bit and spread things up to the highway, and we'll get away from these grids. When we have residential demand, and maybe once we get over the 75,000 mark, we'll start to move some people out and rethink these neighborhoods so they're a little bit less of a grid, and maybe do some kind of fun things like this, just to break things up a bit. But Metro is going to be the next project. I know a couple people have mentioned Metro is not the most exciting thing to watch, so do keep in mind that that will be what, episode 12. That's probably what we'll be covering. So if it's not your cup of tea, then maybe skip that episode. But I think it's one of those things that's so important when you unlock it. It really helps the city a lot. And we will kind of rethink and look at where people are going. We'll look at some of our traffic problems, see if we can resolve some of those with the metro. And that will probably be next episode. Hopefully we can get enough growth to get to 75,000 as well. And then we can start dropping in the last of our unique buildings that we need to then plop down the monuments. So we've only got a couple left. We've got the stadium. We've got... all those are done. The observation, the observatory, I kind of want to put off on its own somewhere up here, up on the mountain. We'll run some power and water up there, and it really should kind of be off on its own, away from the light pollution in a perfect world. So we'll try and put that kind of where it would actually be. We'll keep working on our commercial area down here for tourism, and then we still need to figure out one for leisure. That gets very noisy, but it would be nice to have some nightlife. One other thing somebody mentioned in the comments was they want to see the city at night, so we'll turn on the day-night cycle at some point very soon, so that we can get a look at this city all lit up at night. But I think I kind of want to wait for that, for when it's kind of fully populated and built out, and we can really see kind of what's happening in the dark with more roads, with more lights and more buildings, to kind of make it all snap together. At some point I want to revamp this as well, make it look a little cleaner. That's not too bad for the water pipes, but they at least have a smooth slope, because I came off that way. I kind of came off at a funny angle here, and this could be a little bit better, but it's doing the job. That's the most important part. If you did enjoy the episode, likes, comments, shares help out the channel a lot and are greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe for more City Skylines and other great gaming videos, and hit that bell to get notifications, and check back because you don't always get notifications. So I'll try to get back to the daily schedule this week for City Skyline Let's Play content. There may be a new Let's Play live coming soon, so let me know your interest in a live stream, and we can chat about the city as we build it, and maybe put some real-time feedback into the build and learn as a group. So let me know if that would be of interest to you in the comments down below. But until the next episode, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.